Let me get nosed up here against the bank. I'll read you a piece that I wrote. It's titled Do This and Live. And, I'll read it for you. Somebody once said the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. And that hits close to home for me because I'm not one to hate, but I am ashamed to say that I'm not free from indifference. At times I'm guilty. Dark is 10 feet down. How about you? To be fair, some indifference is due to compassion fatigue from overexposure to media that constantly reports all the bad news from the entire planet, breathless right now and always. This unnatural overload leads to satiation and desensitization, and practically speaking, makes genuine compassion unsustainable. If you're a conspiracy theorist, you might conclude that that's the point. It might be a conspiracy, but if you're living at the media drain hole, that's on you. You have only yourself to blame. No one's holding a gun to your head. Turn it off. The Good Samaritan parable is helpful here, found in Luke 10. And there's more to unpack in the story, but for this discussion, my observation has to do with proximity. When Jesus affirms that to have eternal life, you must love God with your whole self and your neighbor as yourself. Do this and you will live, Jesus says. A lawyer wanting to justify himself, he asks, who is my neighbor? We rightly take the question to reveal a selfish motive, an excuse not to love people he doesn't want to love. But what if there's more? What if the lawyer is also being realistic? That is, he knows it's impossible to be a true neighbor to everyone everywhere. So who is my neighbor? To answer, Jesus tells a story about a man, a Jewish man by implication, who was attacked, left for dead on the side of the road. Eventually, a priest comes by, and later a Levite. Pious ones you would expect to come to the aid of their own Jewish brother. But when they see him, the text says they pass by on the other side. They distance themselves. That is, this is not hate, but it's worse. It's indifference. But later a Samaritan comes by. Jews and Samaritans had a mutual dislike for each other, and he rescues the man. Jesus ends the parable with a counter question for the lawyer. Which of the three proved to be a neighbor? If the lawyer is looking for an excuse not to be merciful to enemies, Jesus denies this by having a Samaritan aiding a Jew. But perhaps Jesus is honoring the practical side of the lawyer's question as well. Perhaps my neighbor is the one I happen to cross paths with, those I meet along the way, those in proximity. I can't help the whole world, but I can help one. And my inability to do everything is no excuse to do nothing. If I have to pass by on the other side or intentionally distance myself, then perhaps I've crossed the line and I'm not loving my neighbor. Somebody said if the devil can't make you bad, he'll make you busy. If he can't keep you from doing good, he will push you to do more than you can, knowing that compassion fatigue or caregiver fatigue will eventually take you out of the game. Reject the Messiah complex. Saving the world is above your station in life. But serving those in your orbit, that's a whole other thing. That's the neighborly thing. That's love. Do this and live. So I hope that was meaningful. Saint up, paddle hard, believe, live.